This is from my AHSC 24S Medicine and Movies class. I did my paper on the portrayal of mental health conditions in films and media. Okay, let's get started. First, I want to start with what is mental health as a whole. Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act, and helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. This was a quote directly from a website based entirely on mental health, actually called What is Mental Health? So to me, in my opinion, there were three different main ways that mental health was displayed and portrayed in these films. Negatively, inaccurately, or positively. Out of the list of films, I chose to watch Brain on Fire and Girl Interrupted. I saw Girl Interrupted a long time ago and rewatched it. Still one of my favorite movies. So both of those movies had heavy displays of the downfalls of mental health and what negative effects it can have on your life. In Brain on Fire, it was actually more of the how it could be seen as a negative. It was a physical disease that was being portrayed as mental health. So the classic, she's crazy, stuff like that. Girl Interrupted, all of the girls in this movie were actually battling with mental health, and it was just ways that they were stigmatized and what they had to do to overcome stigmatizations. So, first we'll start with negative. So, to me, the negative portrayals of this is all movies. A lot of movies and media will negatively show mental health, like, overall. So, to me, some of the main points would be it can make people not want to speak up. So, if it's being portrayed as such a bad thing, like, she's crazy, she's dangerous, stuff like that, people are gonna say, oh, I have that, or I know how she feels. I don't want people to call me that. I don't want to be seen as crazy or dangerous or etc. It could also trigger feelings or maybe even bring up past trauma. So people who are struggling with mental health maybe don't want to watch movies like that because it could make them feel even more upset or bring up old news to them, basically. Definitely overall, the biggest point in as far as negatives would be make people judge others. Like before, you'd see something and say, oh, I know a girl who's like that, or I know a guy who's like that, and then judge people. Even if you don't know anyone who's like that, you'll just judge people who you assume are that way. In Telling It's Risky Business, a mental health consumers confront stigma, they have a quote that says, those given psychiatric labels either receiving direct professional diagnosis, seeking psychiatric treatment, or displaying behavior connected in public mind to mental health are thought to be disvalued. To use Ainley's term, one of the writers. They're seen as different from others, weak and flawed, less capable and less competent, with undesirable characteristics such as dangerous and poor grooming. This goes back to people judging others based on what they think mental health is. Next, we'll move on to positive representations of mental health in certain films and media. A good thing about this, if it's positively and accurately represented, is it could spread awareness. It could open up new doors. People become a little bit more open-minded on what mental health is. Maybe want to be less judgmental about it and say, oh, maybe like it could be hard for someone battling with this. and this is only if it's accurately represented. It can also help decrease stigmatization. By spreading the word, it could make people understand that this is something that's real and this is something that's prevalent, especially in today's society, and maybe need to be a little more accepting of people going through these kind of things. And hopefully help with being stereotypical. And also, finally, I think it could help viewers feel included. Whereas in the negative portion, I'm saying how maybe you don't want to watch this if you don't, if you do are struggling and doesn't want to bring up bad feelings. But on the other hand, it could make you feel included, like, oh, this character is going through the same thing I'm going through. Look how they're overcoming it. So I think it could be a positive thing. I also found in a website an article titled Mental Health in Media and the Power of Positive Portrayals. This article states, for instance, films with accurate and positive representations of mental illness and mental health generally can increase awareness, reduce stigma, and make people feel seen and less alone. This article also included several movies that would do just that. Inside Out, which is the child's film. Silver Lining Playbook, A Beautiful Mind, which was on our list. Little Miss Sunshine, Good Will Hunting, love that movie. What's Eating Gilbert Grape. So these are all movies that have actual positive influences and could do one of those three things for viewers. Finally, I wanted to talk about inaccurate depictions in health and of mental health in movies. First and foremost, it can totally mislead the public, make people view their peers differently that may be struggling with these things. People could maybe even possibly inaccurately self-diagnose, maybe watch these movies and relate to some of the things the characters are going through and then say, oh, does that mean I have XYZ, schizophrenia, whatever, all these different things. So that could be bad. Like, you don't want to have false information in the public. Even if it's not a news or media, even if it's just a movie, still. Also, I did notice in some movies, they tend to make drug addiction or alcohol addiction, any form of addiction, attractive or glamorize it maybe, which we know is inaccurate as well. Especially for younger viewers, not good. And also, like, overall, they show incorrect symptoms or tend to exaggerate symptoms of certain diseases to play on the movie, obviously. I found this chart on WPWW.edu, and it's going over the accuracy of portrayals of mental illness in films. As you can see, hopefully, pink is inaccurate, purple is accurate. So you could see it's about 50-50. So you're really taking a chance on which movie you choose if you're actually getting an accurate representation of what mental illness they're going over at that time. Fight Club, completely inaccurate, it's seeming like. Still Alice, no one's saying it's inaccurate. It's completely accurate. There are no votes against it. A Beautiful Mind on our list as well. And then Split, I feel like that's like number one. Everyone knows. Super exaggerated movie. So yeah, to cover all the bases, mental health is something that is real and people do struggle with it every day. And we just need to be careful about what we're accepting as correct in our media, in our movies specifically. So yeah, we just need to be careful that it can be positive, it can be negative, and it can be inaccurate. So we just need to make sure that we are being careful what we believe in, because not everything's real on movies. So we just need to be careful about all that stuff. And yeah, that's my paper, and I hope something I said helped teach you guys. Thank you.